It's been 10 years since the No Child Left Behind Act was passed by Congress and signed by President Bush. Today, its performance is beyond dispute. The act came with a massive infusion of new federal spending and federal control, but student achievement has been flat, and states have less flexibility today than before the act was passed. A big investment without much measurable return.
So a lot of people who supported No Child Left Behind probably really were well-intentioned. They wanted the federal government to make states and school districts bring all kids to a high bar of proficiency by saying if you want federal money, you've got to have state tests, you've got to have high standards, and you've got to get all these kids educated. Many others probably realized, though, and because it was hard to miss, that in No Child Left Behind, essentially what it was telling states was really set low bars, or write easy tests, or set low standards that you call proficiency because you stay out of trouble under the law, you get even more money, and everybody comes out looking good except for the kids who actually are no better educated than they were before the law.
Today, policy scholars seem to agree there's at least one bright spot in No Child Left Behind. The act, they say, at least forced states and school districts to pay more attention to the achievements of groups of students that they might otherwise ignore. That sunshine, the advocates argue, gave us a clearer picture of student achievement.
It didn't provide sunshine, it provided a bright, shiny lie. We're now telling these kids and their parents that those children are proficient. They are now up to speed educationally, but the definition of proficiency, what it means, isn't real proficiency. It is a lie that's designed to keep schools and districts out of trouble while not having to actually educate kids any better.
No Child Left Behind was meant to provide new funding and new requirements, but many argued the law was not about federal control. School districts would be expected to give high-stakes tests in math, reading, and science. They would also be required to bring all students to proficiency by 2014. But control over curriculum was supposed to remain a local concern.
This was clearly an escalation in federal control, but Republicans in particular, to sell this to their constituency, said, no, this isn't an increase in federal control because states will set their own standards, tests, etc. This, though, set the stage for where we are now, which is a move to have a federal curriculum, to have national standards, national tests. And the federal government, through the Race to the Top program, through the Obama administration's waivers from No Child Left Behind, is putting that into place. They're telling states, if you want to get out of this ridiculous, onerous No Child Left Behind law, you now have to adopt national standards, a national curriculum, and soon you'll have to adopt national tests, which, oh, by the way, the federal government is paying for. Most people now accept that No Child Left Behind is a failure. The reality is, it's not No Child Left Behind that is ultimately the problem. It's the very process by which federal education policy is made.
Politicians have powerful incentives to give the most consideration to the very people they're supposed to be holding accountable: teachers, their unions, and other lobbying groups.
So the only solution to this problem is to obey the Constitution, which gives the federal government no authority to be involved in education, and get Washington out of our classrooms.